Good morning, and I welcome you all the students of class 10th. As you know that CBSE has already given us a sample question paper for term 1 2021-22 class 10th science 086. The time is 90 minutes and I will be solving section A of this today in this lecture. Pay attention, stay with me and try to understand the answer of each and every question. According to the general instructions, the question paper contains three sections. There will be three sections in the coming paper. Section A has 24 questions and you have to attempt any 20 questions. 24 questions will be there in section A, attempt any 20. Section B has 24 questions, attempt any 20 questions. Section C has 12 questions and attempt any 10 questions. All questions are carrying equal marks. There is no negative marking. So you can, if you don't know the answer, you can attempt because there is no negative marking. All right, I'm coming to section A, which will be solved today. It consists of 24 questions. Attempt any 20 questions from this section. The first attempted 20 questions will be evaluated. What board will do, first 20 questions will be evaluated. Even if you do more than that, it will not evaluate. First question is coming, student. Read the question very carefully and pay attention to each and every word, each and every line. Then only you answer the question. Rima took 5 milliliter of lead nitrate. Now, students, you know what is lead nitrate? PbNO3 twice. This is 5 milliliter means aqueous. Okay? This is a solution of lead nitrate in a beaker. Let me see. This is a beaker, student. And you can take in this beaker 5 milliliter of lead nitrate solution in a beaker and added approximately 4 milliliter of potassium iodide. In this is added, student, potassium iodide. Again, I'm saying aqueous because it is a solution. How much? This is 5 milliliter. You are adding 4 milliliter. 4 milliliter is added. Now, students, let me write the reaction, what it means. 5 milliliter of lead nitrate and added approximately 4 milliliter of potassium iodide aqueous solution. What would she observe, students? This question is based on chemical equations and reactions. As you can see, there are four choices: A, B, C, and D. Solution turns red, yellow precipitate is formed, white precipitation was formed, the reaction mixture becomes hot. Students, you can see that this is an example of double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. And what is a double displacement reaction? The ions of the reactants are exchanged. These are the reactants. Ions of the reactants get exchanged. Ions of reactants get exchanged. Let me see what are the ions which are present in these, students. As it is very clear, you have lead nitrate. Lead nitrate will contain which ions? Lead ions and nitrate ions. Potassium iodide contains which ion? Potassium ions and iodide ions. So we know, students, the catch is that positive ion will go with the negative, negative will go with the positive. So the result of this will be, what will happen? Lead iodide will be formed, which is a solid, student, and you will get the formation of potassium nitrate aqueous. To balance the equation, I am putting 2. So what you are getting 2. Now you can see that, student, this is a precipitation reaction. Here a precipitate has been formed. A precipitate has been formed, and you know what is the color of this precipitate? Lead iodide solid. The color of the precipitate is known to you, students. This is a yellow precipitate. Yellow precipitate is formed. Therefore, the answer is A is not correct. B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer, that there is a formation of yellow precipitate. Answer is B. B choice, student. I am coming to the next question. Here, students, what is the question number 2? It says, identify the gas in the following experiment. I hope you have read the NCERT in the chapter of acid, bases, and salts. You know What is happening here? Let us see the diagram very clearly. There are zinc granules. These are zinc granules, student, Zn. So zinc is there, and you are adding dilute sulfuric acid, dilute H2SO4, students. You are adding dilute H2SO4. Now what is going to happen? What is going to happen? As you can see the diagram, this is a boiling tube, this is a boiling tube, and the gas is being produced, bubbles of gas A. Bubbles of gas A, student, identify the gas A. Gas A, bubbles of gas A are passed through the trough soap solution. You already know, when I will pass through soap solution, there will be soap bubbles which will have the gas coming with it. And as you can see, burning of the gas with pop sound, student, pop sound. This is a candle. So that means it is very clear. This is a hydrogen gas, student. You already know the properties of the hydrogen gas. It burns with a pop sound. Now, as it is clear, student, the zinc is a reactive metal. Zinc will displace hydrogen from the sulfuric acid. Zinc displaces hydrogen from sulfuric acid, and the reaction is already known to you. What you will get is ZnSO4, and hydrogen gas is evolved. And this is a test of the hydrogen gas. It burns with a pop sound. Therefore, the answer for this question, identify the gas. Which gas is it? Nitrogen? No. Hydrogen? Yes. This is the correct answer. This is hydrogen gas. Therefore, answer of question 2 is B, student. Our answer is B, which is the hydrogen gas. All right. We are coming to the next question, students. What it says, try to see. Pay attention, student. Pay attention. Keep yourself focused on the questions. Metal plus dilute HCl gives metal, salt, and gas. What is the reaction? You have a metal plus dilute HCl, and you get a metal salt plus a gas, student. Now you have studied what happens when acids react with metals. This is a reaction of acid with metals. Acids can react with metal to liberate a gas, student. The gas is hydrogen gas, but not all the metals can displace hydrogen from HCl. You know that not all metals, not all metals will displace hydrogen from acids. Now the question is, how will we know which metals will displace hydrogen from acids? Now here you have been told about an activity series, student, that should be known to us. Again, I'm saying it is important that you learn the activity series. Let me give you that you know the activity series, or what we call as reactivity series of the metals. Reactivity series of the metals. The metals which are more reactive than hydrogen will displace the hydrogen. Now what are those metals, student? Let you, if I give you this, you know, it starts from potassium, sodium, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, then you have aluminium, then you have zinc, then you have iron, then you have lead, and then you have hydrogen here. This is my lead. And below this, students, you have copper, you have mercury, you have silver, and you have gold. Now this is called the reactivity series. It's important. All those metals which are lying above the hydrogen, they are reactive metals. They will displace hydrogen. They will displace hydrogen from the acid. These are very reactive metals, very reactive. These are moderate reactive, and these are least reactive. These are least reactive. So you students, you know that those which are above. Now here you can see, student, copper is below the hydrogen. Therefore, copper cannot displace. Let me see the first choice. Copper cannot displace hydrogen from acid. What about iron? Where is iron? Iron is above the hydrogen. Yes, iron can displace hydrogen gas. The gas which is evolved is hydrogen gas. And this is the correct answer. Iron can displace, and magnesium can also displace, and it says no. Magnesium can also displace. Magnesium will displace hydrogen, will displace and produce hydrogen gas. Produce hydrogen gas, students. because magnesium, where is magnesium? Magnesium is more reactive than hydrogen. So this choice is also wrong. This is wrong, student. This is also wrong. Zinc, yes, zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. Zinc will displace hydrogen gas. This is correct, student. Therefore, number 2 and number 4 are correct. So what should be our answer, student? Where is number 2 and number 4, students? Where is number 2 and number 4? This is not the right answer. 2 and 4, 2 and 4. This D is the right answer. D is the right answer. So our answer is D. Both iron and zinc, both iron and zinc can displace or produce hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. The answer is the gas evolved. In which case the gas will be evolved? In the case of zinc and in the case of iron. Copper is less reactive. It will not, but magnesium also evolves a gas, but here he says no. Therefore, the only choices which are correct, the combinations which are correct are 2 and 4. Therefore, D is the correct answer. Next question on the screen, students, from CBSE sample paper 2021 to 2022. Which of the following correctly represents the balanced chemical equation? Student, what is a balanced chemical equation? What is a balanced chemical equation? How do we know that? What we do? We try to find out the number of atoms on the left must be equal to the number of atoms on the right hand side. What I'm saying, the number of atoms on the left must be equal to number of atoms on the right hand side. So we can say number of atoms of each element, left hand side means the reactants must be equal to number of atoms of each element on the right hand side, student, which are the products. And this is based on law of conservation of mass. The mass has to be conserved in a chemical reaction. If I consider chemical reaction is taking place in a closed container, the mass of the sum of the reactant must be equal to mass of the sum of the products. Law of conservation of mass holds true. Now let us see here, iron 1, iron 3. No, this is not right. 3 Fe plus 4 H2O, iron 3, and hydrogen 8, and oxygen 4. So students, if you see in fourth question, it is clear that B is the correct answer. The number of atoms of iron 3, hydrogen, how many? 4 into 2, 8, 4 into 2, 8, and 4 oxygen. So this is the correct answer. Therefore, our answer here is B, student. B is a balanced chemical equation. This is a balanced chemical equation. The number of atoms on the right is equal to number of atoms of the left hand side of each element. Balanced chemical equation. This is a balanced chemical equation, as the number of atoms on the right hand side must be equal to number of atoms on the left hand side for each element. All right. Next question, students. Try to observe it. The graph given below depicts a neutralization reaction. Student, neutralization reaction. What is a neutralization reaction, students? An acid reacts with alkali. Acid is reacting with alkali and it gives salt and water. When you have an acid, student, what is the pH of acid? pH of acid is less than 7. You know, acids, you have seen this scale, pH scale 7, 14. So pH less than 7, these are acids, student, and greater than 7 are bases. And this is neutral at pH 7. This point is neutral, pH 7. Yes, we know it. So if anything is less than 7, acids, anything above 7 is a base. Now here, what is it doing? As you can see, there is a graph between pH. This is pH and this is the volume of the acid added. Volume of the acid added, student. That means you have a base. In the base you are adding, you have a base. What I'm trying to say, student, you have a base. Consider there is a base here. The pH of base is how much, student? Greater than 7. pH of base is greater than 7. Now you are adding acid. When you will add acid, what will happen? Acid will react with alkali and it will form salt. Salt will be formed as well as water will be formed. So what will happen, student? What it says, the pH of solution changes. It will change because when base is there, it has a pH. Supposing you have sodium hydroxide, the pH is about 14. So as you start adding acid, the pH will start decreasing, and at 0.7 it will become neutral. Where is the 7 point, student? So this is the point when you will see pH 7 means there is a complete neutralization. At this point, what you have salt and water. You have salt and water, and pH is 7. This is what we call as a neutral point. Complete neutralization of acid and base has taken place. After that, if you add more acid, what will happen? There is more acid here. More acid, student. In this region, you have more acid because pH is less than 7. Here, pH is less than 7, student. Therefore, in this region, what you have? More of acid. And acid is more, and salt will also be there. There will be salt and acid. Therefore, student, in region D, what happens, student? In the area D of the graph, you will have what? You will have acid because pH is less than 7 plus salt. Therefore, what is the question? Which letter denotes the area of the graph where both an acid and salt are present? It is clear here in this part, which I am saying D part, student, D part here. So answer is D. Answer is D. Here pH is less than 7. pH is less than 7. There is acid and salt is also formed when acid and alkali reacts. Therefore, our answer is D. Which letter denotes the area of the graph where both acid and salt are present? Our answer is the area of the graph is D, which is represented here. All right. Okay. Next question. In the reaction of iron with copper sulfate, as an example of displacement reaction, what is happening, student? You can see, if I say copper, I may represent it like this. These are the ions which are present, and iron, this is as a zero oxidation state. This copper is 0, and you have iron 2 plus and SO4 2 minus, students. So what is happening? You can see copper is getting converted into copper 0, and iron is getting converted into iron 2 plus, as you can see once we write. Now, which option in the given table correctly represents the substance oxidized? Now you have studied oxidation and reduction, student. You said addition of oxygen is oxidation, and the substance which is undergoing, which is oxidized, the substance which is oxidized is called a reducing agent. Is a reducing agent. So, but here we are not using oxygen. Here we are using another idea, concept, which we are saying copper 2 plus is converted into copper 0. So copper 2 has been reduced, and iron 0 has undergone iron sulfate. Iron is oxidized. So if iron in this reaction, I am saying iron is oxidized. If iron is oxidized, then iron must be a reducing agent, student. Iron must be a reducing agent. So what is the option then? Iron is oxidized and iron reducing. This is the correct option. This is the correct option. I try to read the other options. Even if I don't know this idea of oxidation number, I know it says substance iron is oxidized and reducing agent. It cannot be true because iron and iron sulfate. Copper is oxidized and iron is reducing agent. That is also not possible because of our definition, the substance oxidized is the reducing agent. The substance which is oxidized should be the reducing. That is also not correct. And copper sulfate and iron, then this is also wrong. So the only option which is left correct is this one. Therefore, the answer of 6th A is a A1. By any means you can answer. Even if you don't know this idea, you already know the definition that the substance which is oxidized is a reducing agent. And there is only one option out of 4 in this case. And my answer is, student, question 6th is choice A. Very good question. Let us go to the next question. The chemical reaction between copper and oxygen can be categorized as. So students, you have studied what is a displacement reaction. You have copper. It is reacting with oxygen and it is forming copper oxide, student. Copper oxide. Now you know this reaction. If I balance it, this is the reaction. So what is this reaction, student? Here you can see that there are two reactants, they are combining to form one single product, one single product. And when two or more reactants combine to form single product, that is known as combination reaction. That must be a combination reaction. So let us see the choices, student. Displacement, no. Decomposition, combination, C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer here. Our answer is C. The two reactants are combining to form a single product. That is combination. Displacement will mean more active element will displace the less active from its salt solution. Decomposition means single product will decompose to give two or more products. That is also not here. Double displacement, we have already shown, is a reaction in which there is an exchange of ions of the reactants, and precipitation reaction we have shown you took place in the first question. So this is the only correct answer here. That is combination reaction. Okay, next question on the screen, students. Which of the given option correctly represent the parent acid and base of calcium carbonate? How calcium carbonate, you know, acid plus base, what happens? Salt and water. So salt is produced from a parent acid. I'm saying there is a parent acid and parent base, student. So in this case, what is our salt which is using? Calcium carbonate. You are forming CaCO3, student, plus H2O. So this, there must be calcium ions. We must have calcium ions, student, and calcium ions will come from a base. And we must have CO3, 2 minus ion. This should come from an acid, student, parent acid. There should be a parent acid of this. There should be a parent base of this. So let us see. HCl and NH, no, there is no calcium here. So how it can form CS? Here in B, what you are having? H2CO3. If this is my H2CO3, student, this is my parent acid, and calcium hydroxide, if this is the calcium hydroxide is my parent base, then what they will form, student? Then we already know H2CO3 will react with calcium hydroxide. This is my parent base, students, and this is my parent acid. And what will be the result of this? You will get the formation of CaCO3, and you will get, student, 2H2O. Okay, that is what was required, base of calcium carbonate. Therefore the choice which is correct is B, student. This is the correct answer. So our answer is B. Our answer is B, H2CO3 and CaOH3. Here there is no carbonate, so how it can be formed? No carbonate, it cannot be. Correct answer. Therefore, B is the correct answer. Coming to question 9, student, how will you protect yourself from the heat generated while diluting a concentrated acid? You are aware of this, student. Danger mark, danger. If I have concentrated acid, if I have a concentrated acid, student, if I add water, what will happen? It is a highly exothermic reaction, highly exothermic, student, and it is very dangerous. It will splash on our face. Lot of heat will be generated. Lot of heat is there, and it is not safe. Lot of heat, not safe, student. Never done like this, because our face will be burnt, because there is a lot of heat of dilution which is involved. So what do we do then? Then what we do, we have a water, student, water, and we add concentrated acid in water. So less amount of heat is liberated. This is a safe, student. So let us see the question. How will you protect? This is very dangerous and it's not safe. So if we want to protect, the only way is, students, that you add acid in water. By adding acid to water with constant stirring, that is the correct choice, because I will add acid and stir, so it will become dilute. Add acid slowly, stir, it will become dilute. So less heat will be there, which will be evolved. But if you had concentrated acid put pour water, what will happen? Large amount of heat will be liberated and it will cause severe burns on our face. It will come out. So by adding acid to water with constant stirring, that is the correct answer, student, as I have explained to you. Okay, Next question. Why is it important to balance skeleton chemical equation? We already told you, student, whenever a skeleton equation is written, it must be balanced because of the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass holds true, student. The mass of the sum of the mass of reactant must be equal to sum of the mass of the product. The mass is the due to mass of the atoms. Neither atoms can be created nor they can be destroyed. They are only exchanged in a chemical reaction. Therefore, what is important here is that the law of conservation of mass must hold true. Law of conservation of mass must be observed, student, must hold true. So this is important. Must be conserved, must hold true. Therefore, why it is important to verify law, no, to verify law, no, to verify yes. C is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. You already know law of conservation of momentum. You have studied in physics. When the collision takes place between the particles, what happened? Total momentum is conserved. Law of constant definite proportion, you already studied. When a compound is formed, the elements combine in definite proportion by mass, and energy is conserved but can be converted from one form to another. Here the correct answer is law of conservation of mass. Okay, next question. Next question we are coming, student. Next question is important. Next question is important, student. He says carefully study the diagram of human respiratory system. This is a human respiratory system, student. And with the labels A, B, C, and D, select the option which gives the correct identification and main function or characteristic, students. Main function or characteristic. 11th, you can see, student, trachea. You know trachea. What is trachea? It is a windpipe. Trachea is a windpipe that takes inhaled air. So it is supported by bony. No, this is not the correct answer. And then what you have, student, in this, we know that you have read in the NCRT, when we breathe in, what is happening? When I'm breathing, our ribs, what we lift our ribs as they are shown, ribs. These are the ribs at point 2. We lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm. Therefore, student, then this is not the right answer. This is not the right answer. What it says, diagram is pulled. No, that is not. That is wrong. It flattens. Then what is this? Alveoli, thin walled sac like structure for exchange of gases. That is the correct answer. You know that, student. They provide a surface. Alveolia provide a surface where exchange of gases takes place. They have a large surface area for efficient exchange of gases will take place. What happens at this alveolia? Efficient exchange of gases takes place. Efficient exchange of gases takes place. Efficient exchange of gases takes place at alveolia, and therefore thin walled sac-like structure for exchange of gases. This is the correct answer is C, student. Correct answer is C. Okay, let us go to the next question, student. What we are showing here, student, identify the options that indicate the correct enzyme. You know that what is the role of enzymes in our human body, student. Enzymes are essential for the digestion of the food. Otherwise, food cannot be digested. If we don't have enzymes, we will not be able to digest the food. Now here, what it says, location A, B, and C. As you can see, what is one, student? What is one? If you have mouth, student, what is happening in mouth? The mouth contains saliva amylase. You have a saliva which contains enzyme, which is amylase, student. You know what is the function of amylase enzymes. They break down complex starch molecule. They will break down complex starch molecules, okay, into simple sugars, So this we already know, we have studied. So this is what is going to happen in the first case. That is amylase. The enzyme name is amylase, student. And what happens? This is our stomach, student. What is happening in the stomach? There are pepsin enzymes. pepsin enzymes, student, in the stomach to digest proteins. To digest proteins, students, in the stomach. And what is the third one, student? So third one is your pancreas. What is happening in the pancreas, student? They secrete pancreative juice, which contains, it contains trypsin. What it contains? Trypsin enzymes, students. And what is the role of them? For digestion of the proteins, for digesting proteins, student, proteins. You know this already. So you have amylase, you have pepsin and trypsin. Three. So what is the choice? Which is the correct answer here, student? Which is the correct answer here? Question number 12. Amylase, pepsin and trypsin. So choice B is the correct answer. You can see that B is the correct answer. Let us move to the next question, students. What it says, students. Question number 13, that opening and closing of stomata pore depends on. Where are the stomata? What are stomata, student? Stomata. The stomata are tiny pores. You know they are tiny pores, student. Tiny pores present in the surface of leaves. Present in the surface of leaves, student. Leaves, student. And a large amount of water. What happens here? Large amount of water, student. Large amount of water uh, can be lost. Can be lost. Can be lost through these stomata. Through these stomata. But how? The opening and closing. The opening and closing. What is happening, student? The opening and closing of pore function of guard cell. You have seen there are guard cell, function of guard cell, student. Guard cells. What happens during this? Guard cell swell when water flows. Guard cells swell when water flows. Guard cells swells when water flows into them. Into them. And causing the stomata pore to open. Causing the stomata pores to open. Pores to open, students. Pores to open. Similarly, the pore closes if guard cell shrinks. Similarly, pores closes. The guard cell will close the pores. Closes if guard cells shrink. So if guard cells shrink. So what is happening, student? Water content in the guard cell. Then this is the correct answer. This is the correct answer, student. Water content in the guard cells. That is what is happening. In the stomata, you have guard cells. You have guard cells, which they are doing water. Next question is on the screen, student. The figure below, student, gives the figure shows schematic plan of blood circulation in humans and labels with 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here, students, what you already know that what is a pulmonary vein, student? The pulmonary vein transfer oxygenated if I talk of first one, pulmonary vein, we know, student, what is the function of this? What it does, student? It transfer oxygenated blood. Transfer oxygenated blood, students. Oxygenated blood. It transfer oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. From lungs to heart. And what is the second one? What is pulmonary artery, student? Pulmonary artery, what it is doing, student? It carries deoxygenated blood. It carries deoxygenated blood from right hand side, from right side of heart to the lungs. Heart to lungs, student. And what is the third one, student? Aorta. What is the function of aorta, student? Is the main largest artery. It is our main largest artery, student. ठीक है. It distributes oxygenated, distribute student oxygenated blood to all parts of body, to all parts of the body. It distributes to all parts of the body through systemic circulation, then what is, this is not correct, this is not correct, this is not correct, then what is left out, student? Answer D, vena cava. What is this vena cava? This is a large vein carrying deoxygenated blood into the heart. ठीक है. Blood from body parts to right auricle. This is the correct answer. So this is a large vein, this is a large vein carrying deoxygenated blood into the heart. So the answer is then vena cava, which is our D choice. So D is the right answer. Next question, students. Try to read every question very carefully before you answer any question, student. Identify the phase circulation which is represented in the diagram. This is a diagram of the heart. There is an arrow. Arrow indicates contraction of the chambers, contraction of the chambers. So what is happening then? The carbon dioxide rich blood. You already know, student, when we use this carbon dioxide rich blood. Carbon dioxide has to reach lungs, student. Has to reach lungs for carbon dioxide to be removed. Carbon dioxide to be removed. And oxygenated blood. And oxygenated blood, students. What will happen? Oxygenated blood. ठीक है? From lungs has to be brought back. Has to be brought back, student, to heart. Has to be brought back to heart. ठीक है? This oxygen rich blood is then pumped to the rest of the body. This oxygen rich blood, what will happen? This blood is then pumped to rest of the body. Students. Then what is our correct answer? What is our correct answer in this case, student? What is the correct answer of this question number 15? Blood transfer to right ventricle? No. Blood is transferred to lungs for oxygenation and is pumped into various organs of simultaneously. So answer B is the correct answer as we have explained here. Next question. Here is a picture of human student digestive system. So what is the picture one? This is your mouth, or what we call as buccal cavity. And what is your two, student? This is your liver. And what is your three, student? Intestine. So what do you have, student? Intestine. These are small intestine and small intestine. You have read the NCERT. Observe the diagram of human digestive system. First one is my buccal cavity. What is happening in one, student? In the one, you know that the starch, when you eat starch, this is converted into simple sugars. So it is the initial phase of starch digestion. Initial phase of starch digestion. So which one is this, student? One. one is going with B. So this one will go with student B. B. B is initial phase of starch digestion. Now, what is happening in the liver, student? This is my liver. This is number 2, liver. So one is going with B. Liver, bile juice is secreted. Bile juice is secreted, and there is a bile salt which breaks large globules into smaller globules. So this, what is the function of this, student? What is the function of this second liver? That it will increase. It will increase the lipase enzyme efficiency. So what is then going with 2? This is my 2, which is the choice. Length of this initial increases the efficiency. So 2 will go with the C, student. 2 will go with C. As you can see, one goes with B, the choice which is correct. 2 is going with C. 2 is going with what is 2? Liver. Liver, the increases the efficiency of lipase enzyme action. All right. Let us see the third one, which is the intestine, small intestine again. Third one. Third one, what it is doing, student? This third one. Third one, what it is doing? This is the site of complete digestion of carbohydrates and proteins. You already know, student. The third will go with what? The third will go with D. What is this? Is a site of complete digestion. What is happening in the this small intestine? Complete digestion of carbohydrates, carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Proteins and fats, student. So the third will go with the D. Where is the third one? Third goes with D. And what is the fourth one? Fourth one is small intestine. The length of this depends on the food the organism eat. That is the correct. So the fourth will go with A. You know that, students. You already know that there are the length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending upon the food they eat. Herbivores eating grass need a longer in a small intestine to allow the cellulose to be digested. Carnivores meat is easier to digest. Hence, carnivores tigers have shorter small intestine. So, shorter small intestine. So, student, the fourth one is going with A. So, therefore, now we can summarize that the first one is going with B. The second one is going with C. Third one is, student, going with D, and fourth one is going with A. Let us check which is the correct option, student, which it is matching, where it is matching, students. In this case, first one goes with B, second goes with C, third one goes with the fourth. That B is the correct answer, student. Hence, our answer is B. Make sure we have to put a lot of attention, student. Every question we have to study very carefully and pay attention. Then only we can answer the question. Otherwise, the questions cannot be answered. Be careful, student. That is the point, that we must learn how to answer the questions. All right, student. So 16th question answered. Let us go to the next question. Next question, student. We are coming to the next question. Next question. Which of the following mirror is used? Which of the following mirror is used? Which of the following mirror is used by dentist to examine a small cavity in a patient's teeth? In a patient's teeth. Now, student, when we discussed the mirrors, let me say mirror, student, and we have shown you, student, there is a mirror which can form virtual, erect, virtual, erect and enlarged image. Virtual, erect and enlarged image of the object. Which will be that mirror, students? The mirror which can form virtual, erect and enlarged image. So you already know, student, when we discuss the image formation of concave mirror. In the case of concave mirror, student, what we find that this is my concave mirror. Let me draw it better for you, student. In the case of the concave mirror, students, what happened if I have a pole and I have a focus. If an object is placed between pole and focus, then you know what type of image is formed. And you have seen, student, you will get a virtual erect and enlarged image of the object. And therefore the dentist will use what type of mirror? Convex, no. Plane, no. Concave mirror. Concave mirror, because concave mirror will give you virtual erect enlarged image of the object. Similarly, this is also used in the as a shaving mirror. When we shave it, we also use the same mirror, which is our concave mirror, because the image formed will be, students, this will be magnified and virtual and erect. Next question is coming on the screen, student. Which diagram shows image formation of an object on the screen? Now here we are talking of converging lens, student. Converging lens, which is a convex lens. Convex lens, student. We have told you what are the rules for the formation of images. What are the rules for the formation of images of a convex lens? Convex lens is a convergent lens. This is where the refraction takes place. So we know the first rule: ray passing through ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis will pass through focus. But you can see that here these rays are not aligned, so this is not correct. Here also you see this. And let me see now in this, the ray which is parallel to the principal axis passes through the focus, yes. And the ray which passes through the optical center is reflected back. Therefore, student, C is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. So we have to apply the rules which we have told you for the convex lens for the formation of images, which have been clearly explained in your book. The any ray which is passing is parallel to the principal axis will pass through focus, and a ray which passes through the optical center, it must be reflected back. So this will show the correct image formation. Therefore, our answer is C, student. All there is some error in all the pictures. You can see that if you pay attention, you will find this. Next question, student. Next question is on the screen. Which of the following can make a parallel beam of light when light from a point source is incident on it? Again, if I have a concave mirror, if the beams are coming from the focus, what will happen? They will become parallel. So we already know one mirror is concave mirror. Concave mirror, already, if you see the image formation by the concave mirror, those rays which are coming from the focus, they will become parallel. And concave mirror, convex. And what about the lens? Let us see the lens also, because there is a point source incident on it. What happens in the convex lens? If a ray of light, student, you can say that this is my convex lens, student. What is happening here? This is my optical center. And if a ray of light is going from the principal focus, if this is my focus, then it will become parallel, student, parallel. So convex lens is also an example of that. If I draw the image very properly, you will be able to see that. So similarly, concave mirror also, what happens in concave mirror, student. If this is the focus, if the rays of light is coming on the incident on this, what will happen? They will become parallel. So concave mirror and convex lens, student. So answer is A, student. A is the correct answer. Answer A. Let us go to the next question, student. Consider these indices of refraction. You have been told about a refractive index, student. When a ray of light passes from one medium to another medium, then we have said it undergoes a refraction, and refractive index was defined as sine of I by sine r, or velocity of the light in vacuum divided by the velocity of the light in the medium. If the velocity of light in a medium becomes less, then what will happen? The refractive index value will be more. Refractive index value will increase, student. So the refractive index value depends on the density of the medium, optical density of the medium. And you know that the if a medium, the more optically denser the medium, the slower will be the speed of light. Slower will be the speed of light in that medium. So vacuum, the speed of light is maximum, 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. In air also, we say there are particles, air molecules, particles are there, they are very small, and we assume it to be almost equal. But when it goes to glass, then the refractive index of glass is, more, because the glass is a denser medium. And we have to see that water also is more denser than air. Therefore, what will happen? The more denser the medium, slower is the speed. Here, consider the indices of reflection. Refractive index glass, how much? 1.52. And what is the refractive index in air? 1.003. And students, what is the refractive index in water? Is 1.333. Therefore, this is the most dense material. It has the highest density, optically denser medium. Glass is the most, therefore, the slowest speed will be there, and in the speed through them. So the light will have slowest speed in this. Light speed will be slowest in this case, and then next will be water, and then this will be. So it will be traveling faster in air than water, and therefore we can say the speed of light, uh, in air will be faster, in air will be more. So we can say, student, the speed of light in air will be more than in water, and will be more than in glass, because the optical density is increasing. Glass is the most dense material. The speed of light will be slowest in this. Speed of light will be slower. Let us see which is the correct choice. Speed of light in water, no, it cannot be more. Speed of light in glass, it cannot be more, it is the least. Speed of light in air, yes, it is the highest. And then light in water, then this. Okay, as per our choice, answer C is the correct answer. Answer C is correct, student. All right, next question. If a beam of red light and a beam of violet light are incident at the same angle on the inclined surface of a prism. Student, you have a prism. ठीक है? Supposing this is the point. This will happen, student. This will a blue. What is happening? If a beam of red and a beam of violet light. Let me change the colors then. Let me change the color, student. First, let me take the red color, student. Here, red color. What happens? As it undergoes refraction, student. It undergoes refraction. This is the angle of incidence. And then it gets deviated like this. Now, let me take, student, violet color. Okay. Violet. If I consider now another beam is coming, this supposing violet color is coming, student, what will happen? It will suffer greater diffraction like this. This is, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. If you use a white light, student, white light, then there are seven colors. So what is happening, student? What I am trying to tell you, angle R, what he says, inclined, the air medium that produces angle of refraction. Angle R is the angle of refraction of red beam, and angle V is the angle of refraction of violet light. Now, students, important point to know is that the red wavelength, red light has a longer wavelength, longer wavelength, or more velocity, more speed. It travels with a greater speed, more speed than violet light. Violet light. The wavelength of violet is less. The wavelength of violet is less, and the speed of violet is also less. The speed of violet, ठीक है, light is less than speed of red light, because it is a refraction. This is a refraction. When a light is passing from one medium to another, it suffers a refraction. So the angle of refraction or the deviation will be more. Therefore, deviation or angle of refraction of violet light will be more than that of red light. More than that of red light. Or what we are saying, that V will be greater than R, student. V will be greater than R. V is greater than R means what, student? What it means, that R is less than V. R is less than V. So students, what will be the answer? In our case, R is less than V, which is the correct choice. Equal to V, no. The D is the correct answer. Answer is D, student. Answer is D. The longer the wavelength, the longer the wavelength, then it is traveling with more speed. Less is the deviation. And shorter the wavelength, then what will happen, students? Shorter the wavelength, lower is the speed of the red. It will travel greater deviation, and greater angle of reflection will be there. That is our point. Next question, students. Next question. Examine the above figure. State which of the following option is correct. One small box is equal to 1 centimeter. How many boxes are there? This is 1, 2, 3. That means, student, this distance is how much? 3 centimeter. 3 centimeter. Okay? For one small box. The mirror has a focal length of -6. No, the focal length is what is the focal length of the mirror? This is a concave mirror. Student. Sign convention. Use the sign convention. You have learned. Sign convention. When you measure on this side, what will happen? This is a negative sign, and this positive sign. So focal length should be -3 centimeter. That is clear, student. So this cannot be the right answer. The focal length is -3 and will produce a image of magnification. Now, what is a magnification? Is the height of image divided by the height of object. Now, in this case, the object is placed at C. So what is going to happen, student? You are going to form an image which will be real and inverted, and equal size. You know that this will be a real, inverted, and equal size image. The size of the image is equal. Okay? But the image is inverted. Image is below the principal axis. It is below the principal axis, student. Then what is the magnification? Then you know magnification will be what, student? The height of the image and height of the object are same. So this is 1, but there will be, this image will be what? -1. The sign will be negative because the image is inverted. Student. Image is inverted. Therefore, students, we know the rules and sign convention. Mirror formula for the concave mirror. Let me not put any doubt here. So you already know, student, the mirror formula. You also know that three blocks are there, 3 centimeter, and in this case the image will be of the same size, equal size, and therefore the height of the image is equal to height of the object. But since the image is below the principal axis, then the size that becomes minus sign, and this is plus sign, therefore equal size, therefore the answer will be -1. Therefore, what is the correct answer of question 22, student? That mirror has focal length -3 and will produce image magnitude -1. That is the correct answer. Our answer is B, students. -3 +1. No, it cannot be +1 because it is a real and inverted image. Only if the image is formed above the principal axis, then it will be positive. Therefore, B is the correct answer. Let us see the next question, students. Here is another question, student, you can see the angle of incidence from air to glass. Air, this is my air, student, and this is a glass. Glass, this is air. At point O, student, this is my point O. You know, normally if I have a mirror, this is my point O, student. Point O. Now, what happens at this point? If a ray of light is perpendicular to this, it is reflected back in the same direction. If this angle is 90 degree, you have studied in the case of mirror also. Now here, interesting thing to notice, student, that this ray of light is going, and this air to glass, there should be refraction. There should be refraction, student. When a light ray passes from one medium to another, there should be refraction. If refraction takes place, then what will happen? This should bend, but you see in this case there is no bending. This ray is going straight. You can see that it is going straight, student. There is no refraction. That means there is no refraction. And the ray is going straight. It is not bent. It is not bending. As you can say, as a ray is passing from air to glass, there is no refraction. The ray not undergoing, not bending, student. What it means? What is the case? That means, student, only when the ray is at the normal, at the 90 degree, at the perpendicular, then there is no refraction and the ray passes straight. Therefore, in this case, student, what happens on the hemisphere? The angle of incidence from air to glass is 45, 0, 90, and we will say the answer is 0 degree. There is no angle of incidence, because this is passing through the normal. It is passing through the normal, and therefore the angle of incidence is 0, and angle of refraction is also 0. So no refraction is taking place. The ray is passing through normal. That is what we define as normal, is passing through normal, students. And therefore, our answer to this question is B, 0 degree. Now, students, a prism ABC is placed in different orientation. An arrow beam of white light is incident on the prism. In which of the following, after dispersion, third color from the top corresponds to the color of the sky? What is the color of the sky, student? Color of sky is blue. And if I have a normal prism like this, student, you have seen that when a white light passes, when white light passes through a prism, what happens, student? It splits up into how many colors? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So this is the blue from the bottom. If the prism is like this, because the ray of light is refracted towards the base of the prism, So it is from the bottom. The third one is blue. That is the color of the sky. Now he says, what is an arrow beam of light is incident as shown in which of the following diagrams after dispersion third color from top of the spectrum corresponds to the color of the sky. So it should come from top, the third color. That means, student, the prism should be, then this should be the right answer. As you can see, then the prism should be inverted. Here the prism is inverted, student, inverted prism. If I invert this prism, student, what will happen in this case? Then they will start in this case, where our answer is this one, B, student. Second, in this case, what will happen? If the light is passing through this student, then it will become inverted like vi violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Now this color is the color of sky, and this is third color from the top. Third color from the top of spectrum, students. Therefore, we can see that always what happens, student, this whenever lights are passing, what will happen? It will be bending towards the base of the prism, towards the base of the prism. So the blue will come third in this case. In the case of the second, the correct answer is B, students. Therefore, students, I hope I have been able to answer the section A of the CBSE papers. And in my next video, in my next lecture, I will answer section B of the 10th CBSE papers. And I will explain to you both chemistry, all the chemistry, physics, and bio part. And pay attention, stay focused, read the question carefully before you answer the question. And thank you very much. I hope this will be uploaded in the YouTube, and you can watch this in the YouTube. Therefore, I will see you in my next video, which will be the section B, class 10th, sample question paper released by CPSE 2021 and 22. Thank you. Bye bye.